You guys, what in the oops, I did it again, Britney Spears is going on, y'all? Supposedly, there is reports of a reunion where Brian Spears, the brother of Britney, reached out to Jason Chadwick, her ex, to let him know that they were going to be in his area in Las Vegas. On Instagram, a video was posted where she and her brother went to a spa for some pampering and special treatment. Britney was more than just ecstatic. She clearly doesn't go to spas on her own often. You can tell by her eagerness and surprised tone, which in the past and in her book, I believe, she had explained how there was many times during her prime that her family and friends were always doing the spas and stuff, but she wasn't allowed to enjoy all of it. Jason and Brian supposedly continued to keep in touch with each other despite Britney not having to, haven't spoken with him in quite some time, a couple of years. 2011 was their engagement, and I believe 2013 was their split. They called off the engagement right before Las Vegas residency. Britney was reported to be very attached to Jason, where he was her agent for a bit of time, as well as being listed as co-conservator. He was said to control her diet, food, finances, and other responsibilities for the pop star, starting after the media storm claiming of her mental breakdown after she shaved her head in Freedom and Rebellion and took a verbal beating and harassment regarding her appearance and trauma she was still going through with her ex, Kevin Federline, and the battle over her children at that point. So she lashed out in her own right and damaged a paparazzo's property after they again violated her personal space. Which, let me add real quick, if any of us were a world pop megastar at that young age and trying to learn the avenues of life and business, which ties into all sorts of financial business, banks, casinos, ticket sales, product, brands, and lines, we would all most likely would have cracked and snapped. The timing of Jason's placement in Britney Spears' world has and continues to raise eyebrows for some fans and cause concern and worry for the circus singer and performer. When they announced they were dating and in a relationship, fans were torn between happy for Britney and some were upset. Then to find out in documents that he was also part of the conservatorship really pissed them off. Upset fans at that point went straight to not trusting Jason at all. As we have learned and already know from the past years of her career, this woman has been terribly tormented in the public eye and personally behind closed doors, where clearly higher ups in the business had taken over and eliminated her human rights, discarding it completely, not just in control of her career, but her every move, her entire actions in her life. What I personally fear for her is that people may come back into her life now for all the wrong reasons and take advantage of her all over again. She is still in such a fragile state when it comes to trust and letting people in. She is extremely vulnerable as well. We all know, we all have heard her own voice say it many times throughout the years. She just wants to love and be loved. When it comes to Brian Spears, Britney's brother, he has been around this whole time. He's just not seen and reported on much. He and his sister have stayed close ever since a very young age. I do think Brian behind the scenes has continued to help her with brands, products, side projects in the past. Seeing him bring her to her mom's a while back and now to a spa and weekend getaway in Vegas, I'm not really that concerned. With him reaching out to Jason, I do have some questions, but not super worried at the moment. Regardless of his and her past relationship and how he was co-conservator when it came to on paper and on the books, he actually did his job roles well for Britney Spears, the business. There are many rumors and allegations surrounding the breakup they experienced and how he separated himself not just from his ex Britney, but the business career-wise as well. There also is speculation that he had some arguments with Jamie Spears, her father, and the boss of everything at the time, and did not want to be legally binded to her as a guardian of some sorts, But if it did so, Jamie then wouldn't be able to control everything. And Jason in place, he can balance out Britney's wants, needs, requests, as well as providing some business, financial sense and experience rather than Jamie making every choice decision and treat his daughter like a pet. It's possible, but I don't know for sure. Well, what do you guys think? Tell me in the comments down below. I'd love to hear what y'all's thoughts and comments on this situation is. Trust or not to trust? Now, rumor has it June 14th will be the release date, which is said to be so-called June 7th. Today is when they're supposed to announce it. So we shall see about that. The rumor was even posted by Breathe Heavy that she is to release a song The Weeknd and her had created together, possibly during their time on set of The Idol, where it was reported as well that he asked her for her experience, knowledge, and thoughts and opinions on scenes and direction of the series. I mean, after all, it was about a pop star. Whether it's about Britney or Selena, I think it's a mixture of both. Now, this makes me wonder why now? The Weeknd trying to possibly cover up all the talk about his shadiness with Drake and that whole label drama debacle? Or is Abel now going to produce and direct a movie on Britney, as that was also a rumor not that long ago surrounding both of them? I also wanted to jump into another Britney topic that has been bothering the shit out of me. The recent reports of her mental status in the mainstream news has had me on edge ever since. I have watched so many negative storylines and horrible, negative, uneducated comments made to slander Britney. It's not only rude, but absolutely disrespectful. I typically usually stay as polite and to the point as possible in comments, but one person kept going in exchange for my every word about the situation. The one that really irked me was a comment exchanged on the News Nation video where Ashley Banfield interviewed Perez Hilton regarding recent concerns about Britney and the rumored boyfriend Solis and the incident at the Chateau Lamont. In the interview, Ashley Banfield, which she has said multiple times in other interviews and discussions, that Jamie Spears, Britney's father, has been totally cleared and pretty much, insinuating that there was an audit done and everything was reviewed. But when the hell did that happen? So in the comments, I wasn't directing it at anybody, but I had said, excuse me, when was it proven in court that Jamie was cleared? There was a settlement that doesn't prove him innocent. And then I went on to say, none of Team Con, none of those members were held accountable for anything that they've done, which was a huge violation of human rights and so on. But then there was a few people that, wrote in response to me, have you been asleep? Britney Spears should have been kept in a conservatorship amid fears of her mental health. And I wrote, do y'all's research. You're falling into the media trap. Then one of the people that kept on, going at me had pretty much said that I'm a brainwashed fan. And that's when it got me a little angry. So Watermelony Shah wrote, tagging me, no, we're just not brainwashed fans blindly believing the words of a mentally unstable pop star. Britney Spears lies and tells half-truths, and her fans buy it all up. 'Cause you know everything, right? Her fans believe she is this ultimate victim and believe she is faultless. In reality, no one else is to blame but Britney. Oh, so blame a freaking victim. That's really fucking nice. And her inability to handle her own fame. Oh my God, you be famous. I would love for this person to go be famous because it's so easy to do it, right? I'm so tired of these free Britney people. She was better off in conservatorship. She wasn't a prisoner in that. She had many freedoms. Oh my God. But the girl lies all the time and her fans just believe it. Very hive mind-like, which is just so sad as her mental state. This person's a fucking asshole. Sorry, but not sorry. And this is where it got really ugly. So I replied, she was a prisoner in her conservatorship. Many people stole her money and she was forced to work and tour while pumped with lithium, which, do your research. What happens to your brain being on long-term use of the medication? I am not a blind fan. I am a human rights activist that sees and documents that her rights were abused and she was set up multiple times. She eventually, yes, did have multiple depression and anxiety issues develop. If she was so unstable, why would you use her as a puppet to the world for money making, such as putting her on tour, making her do a Las Vegas residency? That's abuse. If you don't understand, I've worked in nursing homes. I worked with behavioral, TBI. I've been through all of it, seen it all. Now, if you had a grandfather in a nursing home, this isn't really that far-fetched. Say you have a grandfather in a nursing home and he's got really bad knees and he barely can walk. Yeah, they're going to try to push him as much as they can, getting him to volunteer to do rehab, physical rehab. But if he refuses, they really can't do anything about it. But if you have, say, an activities person come in and they're like, nope, I don't care. You need to get up and dance. Dance, let's go. Nope, we're dancing. That's abuse. The person is being forced to do it against their will. And they're clearly not healthy or stable enough to do so. So if you want to go with your theory that she, is completely incoherent and mentally ill, so why would you do that to somebody? I'm glad you don't work in healthcare, or at least I hope you don't. Anyways, going back to what I said, think and do your research before just assuming it was a better situation. Some guardian cases are absolutely needed, and some work, but in her case, the conservatorship caused a lot of her current mental and physical concerns. And the saga continued, tagging me once again, and do your research. Lithium has lots of myths. One of them about being that it rots your brain. It doesn't. I have a cousin on lithium, and she has been on it for 8 years, and her life is stable, and her relationships haven't fallen apart like Britney. First of all, everybody reacts to medications differently. Everybody's body is different. Yeah, there's similarities, but really? Really? That's what you're going to say? And secondly, that's not firsthand knowledge. That's pretty much hearsay unless you're very close to your cousin. And if she's been on it for 8 years, I'm sure it's at a very scheduled and monitored dose, which was not the case for Britney. Technically, she should have never been on it. And this is where I got nasty. I tagged them. You really don't understand nothing, do you? I was in healthcare. You think every person prescribed handles and reacts to and is on the same dosage? You are nuts. I can't even be civil about this anymore. Can you not read? Not everybody needs the extent of a conservatorship, and definitely not in the terms of abuse like they did with her. Look into Lou Taylor and Robin Greenhill. Yeah, great people who are also involved with P. Diddy and ST and HT. Beep, beep. Apparently, you don't see the problem with putting someone against their will to do such things and force them to work. Lovely person you must be. I'm done responding to explaining things to someone who clearly can't understand or even try to see level ground of how your words were so one-sided, and that be that. You have no respect for any human, as all humans are different, and just because one might have mental illness, possibly due to the horrors of the things that have been done to her illegally, may I add, and the corruption of the court and TriStar, which continues today, and with other famous people behind locked doors, in which for Britney, most problems were created from being put on the wrong medication and was used in a tactic for control and dilute her clear cognitive state. Oh my God, not even worth explaining it to you. Just hope that you never have an issue and instantly your rights be taken away. Ending it with, no one deserves that, especially when they are or were coherent. Good luck. And they never wrote back. Case dismissed. Thanks for joining me, you guys. Hopefully you guys had a wonderful weekend. And I know it was a little bit aggressive in this video, but it needed to be said, in my opinion. A lot of people are putting out their thoughts and opinions, which is totally fine. But they're not backing it up with facts or experience. And that's the problem. Because then it turns into, the game of telephone. So that's not good. It's just not. And if you keep on watching the news footage on television and mainstream media on Britney constantly, it's always negative. It's always obviously planted. And it makes me worried for her. It really does, because little by little, it's starting to look like it's repeating itself. Just like that saying, history repeats itself. So I don't know. We can only hope and stay aware of her situation. I just hope she's okay. So again, thanks for joining me, you guys. Hopefully I'm getting back into the swing of doing more videos again. Ever since that trip, I don't know. It's just, I've been so exhausted. It took me like 2 weeks to get back to feeling somewhat normal and not having migraines. But that's life, right, you guys? We got to keep moving forward. So again, thank you for joining me, and I will see you guys in a new video real soon. I'm Leenda, and that's for the record, Your Honor. Bye.